Welcome again to another Curator's Chat. I'm Jason French, Curator of Collections at the Behringer-Crawford Museum. As you can tell, I'm not at the Behringer-Crawford Museum. In fact, I'm at a local Legends establishment at Bobby Mackey's, and I'm here with the legend, the man himself, Bobby. Bobby, thank you for allowing us to be here.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
We just wanted to talk to you about your life, your history here in this region, and what you do a little bit here if people aren't familiar with it, and maybe also the history of this building. So,
well, it's got a lot. It's got a lot. I've been here 43 and a half years and going on 50. The place has history. It was an old gambling casino back in the 30s, 40s, called the Latin Quarter. During the heyday, they had a Chinese restaurant here. We got a menu that has all the. Well, you can buy a cocktail for 75 cents or something. Anyway, a lot of history, and there's an old safe back in the green room. There's an old safe. It's a Mosler safe, and it's planted in there. And the Mosler safe company heard about it, and they come here to look at it and wanted to buy it.
Really?
And I gave them a price, and I said, well, after the price we're talking about, you have to tear the side of the building out to get it out of here, and then build the building back. We had a bunch of poker chips around here, 2 boxes of them.
Really?
The $5, $10, $25, and where the craps table used to sit, back in the casino, they call it the casino room. Back there is where the bull sits now. The bull sits right where the craps table used to sit when this was a gambling casino.
So, what brought you from Concord here?
Well, the C&O Railroad. Out of high school, I come down here and got a job on the railroad, of which I worked on trains that went right through my hometown. So my dad still had the grocery store, and I'm riding trains, and the engineer would blow the whistle extra long and loud, and my dad would know I was on the train, so he'd come out of the grocery store and wave at me as I went by. 1966, I went to work on the railroad.
Okay, in '66. Yeah. How did you get into country music?
Well, I was already.
You were.
When I come down here, here with my guitar in one hand, my suitcase in the other, and $75 in my pocket. My mom taught me to sing practically before I could talk. It was coming out, and she was working with me, and then my oldest brother bought me a Roy Rogers guitar when I was 8 years old, and my mom taught me to play the guitar. So I grew up with. Music was everything to me always, and it's hard to explain, but the first time I heard Hank Williams Sr. sing, I was hooked. I was never the same after that. As I grew up, I entered a lot of talent contests through my teenage years and stuff, and a lot of talent contests and stuff. I don't know if y'all remember the old Harris Rosedale TV show years ago. It's way back there. I was 13 years old when I was on his TV show here on Channel 9. But it had to be. I had to go where the music was. I happened to have the opportunity to get into music with a band that was already formed that needed a singer, Red Jenkins and the Country Lads. And I started working with him in 1970. By the time the railroad called me back, I didn't go. I worked 8 years out around the Tri-County area at 3 different nightclubs over an 8-year period, from 70 to 78. Well, in September of 78, I got this place and opened it, September the 8th, 1978. September the 8th is the old Jimmy Rogers' birthday. Everybody remembers the singing brakeman.
Yeah.
I was a brakeman too. George Jones was my hero growing up. He was my absolute hero. And the opportunity came I could book him here. He'd been in the hospital down in Florence, Alabama, and he had lost a lot of weight. He was getting straightened up. Remember, he used to miss a lot of shows, no-show Jones. And my daughter was 13 years old, and she answered the phone early one morning, and she about freaked out. She answered the phone and said it was George Jones calling, and she couldn't believe it. She comes beating on the bedroom door. Daddy, George Jones is on the phone. He said that George was out of the hospital. He'd been through a whole lot. He just got out of the hospital. He needs to work. He needs to sing. So we booked him within 10-day notice, and through all the business part of it, and I'm thinking about that, being able to make it work and get it advertised properly and get people here. We sold out 2 shows on a Sunday, and but I remember it came to complete reality when George was introduced to the stage. When he was introduced to the stage, I froze in my tracks, and I could not believe it, because the reality of it hit me when I was able to take it in personally and not consider the business part. And it just, I've never gotten over that feeling. But another feeling similar was when I had Merle Haggard here a couple of years later. Merle was here and it was 25 below zero that day. It was a freezer bowl over Riverfront. And Merle sang in an overcoat. You couldn't warm this place up. We have a lot of great people that come here, and continually, people that may not come every weekend, but when they do go out, they come here. Mm-hmm. And it's just great, and like everybody gets to know each other, and it's just a click thing that works. And my band, I've got a great band. They've been with me a long time. Each member has. They know all the songs I do. I am so comfortable. In fact, if I forget words, my bass player, Ernie Vaughn, he'll catch me and give me the words because he knows everything I do. And I'm getting a little forgetful. But it's been a great home. Like I said, I've been here 43 and a half years, going on 50, and I'm still playing my music. I'm having more success with my records now than I have. Well, I wrote a song called "What They Call Country Is Not Country." They just stole the name. The mainstream country anymore is not country at all. But people like me, independent artists doing actual traditional country music, there's a place for it. There's still a lot of DJs out there that have their own shows on real country shows. And there's so many of them that it has its own chart now. And I just had a #1 record on the independent charts, a song about Hank Williams Sr. It's called "Looking for Audrey." My promotion director, R.J. Seifert, he's here. He created a slogan: "Come for the ghosts and stay for the music." and my slogan is, "The way it was is still the way it is."
Oh, it's a great place, and thank you for having us here and being willing to talk with us. And I hope everybody out here has enjoyed this Curator's Chat, and we'll catch you in our next one.